Hey, welcome back. First Hour Woman Wednesday. Amazing show so far. Blockbuster Woman coming up very shortly. Also, Dr. Judith Kuryansky joins us. Her name's a little bit of a tongue twister there, Frank.
No,
Judith
it's fine.
Kuryansky.
Kuryansky.
Yeah, Kuryansky.
And
so,
we're very grateful that, especially me as a soon-to-be married man, that she had dropped off a couple of copies of her book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tantric Sex.
I saw that. Do we have that, Steve? I was reading that yesterday.
Oh, boy.
Here it is.
Which we're not going to be talking with her about.
We're not going to be talking about tantric sex today, but we
Sorry,
are
Cece.
going to be talking about other ways to keep your mind and your soul calm and settled.
Yeah,
in
she was
tough times of anxiety.
she's terrific. She was a 9/11 first responder, and she worked at the pit. And then she counseled the victims and the families of victims in the aftermath of September 11th. She's still been very involved in helping all the first responders and everybody else. So
we're looking forward to her joining us in the 140.
yeah, in fact, do we have a photo of the Answer the Call, the tattoo, the Answer the Call temporary tattoos that have been making the rounds? You could throw it up if we have it. If not, so be it. But yeah, so this is a great thing. Jackie, our receptionist, who we've been trying to get on air, we're in negotiations with her. She showed me this, and one of the other Newsmax people has these great Answer the Call temporary tattoos to raise awareness about answering the call for the first responders. Now, this is a group that helps the families of fallen Port Authority officers, police officers, and firefighters who perished in September 11th. I think it's a great thing that so many people around here seem to be wearing those temporary tattoos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did we get approval from the network to have Jackie's wrist on?
No, initially I wasn't. Sorry, apologies to the network. Jackie did not consent to being on. But I want to ask you about this story, John.
Yep.
This is the front page of today's New York Post. It has to do with star Patriots player Antonio Brown, who Russ Salzberg tore apart the other day. Now, after all the stuff about him calling someone else a cracker, about him illegally tape recording phone conversations, apparently now there's even a rape claim against Antonio Brown. What is your take on this? The front page story of the newspaper of record, Antonio Brown, rape
Guys, to me, he's a bum. He's a bum. It's like, it's like from Bronx Tale. There's nothing worse than a waste of talent.
Yeah.
You know, and the guy's probably one of the most talented receivers, football players on earth. But he can't keep himself on a team. He can't keep his mouth shut. He can't keep his guaranteed money in his bank account, which is another issue. And quite frankly, tells you about the NFL and the lust of these owners to build enterprise value, because very rarely do they take a stand and say, you know what, this guy is not an example for our players, our team, our community. And only Belichick could sign this guy and potentially turn him into a good person again. Because I'm sure he is a good person, but he's going through it in a way right now that, if I was running a team, I'd chuck him.
Where are we going to be on Sunday?
Where are we going to be on Sunday? We are going to be in Atlantic City.
That's right. Now.
And
now.
It's Frank's bachelor party.
No, that's right. The city's never seen anything like this. So everyone's invited, by the way. But they made a board game out of Atlantic City. What is that board game?
Monopoly.
That's right. See, ring the bell for yourself again.
Ding.
All right. Now, we all
love
remember.
being right.
Did you ever play video games in the 80s? I know
Of course
you said
I did.
Okay.
Asteroids, Pac-Man,
Pac-Man, right.
Indy 500.
Well, so what was the female equivalent of Pac-Man?
Ms. Pac-Man.
Great game, right?
Yeah.
Right. Nothing wrong with it, right?
Well, there is something wrong with it today, because just because Ms. Pac-Man had a bow in her hair, that doesn't mean she was identifying as a woman that day.
That's fair. That's
Mr.
fair.
Pac-Man and Ms. Pac-Man could both be
John,
Pac-Man X, for all I know, or Pac-Man Z.
Is it me, or does this show feel like it's 10 hours today? Boy, I tell you, not drinking for a show, it really lessens the enjoyment.
Have
of
some
hosting.
Sephora. It's healing.
I am. I'm
feel
trying.
great.
So far, it's not doing anything for me as an antidepressant.
You haven't taken any.
Now, no, I've been. I mix it with my bubbly. Now, let me tell you what Hasbro, the makers of Monopoly, are doing. Now, they are doing a game called Ms. Monopoly. which I'm all for. I think it's great. You want to have a female, Monopoly guy.
This is like
That's
a
great.
middle-aged woman with a big curly mustache.
Whatever. Right.
Oh, okay.
It's John.
What's the pronoun for the protagonist in the
Ms. Monopoly.
Ms.
Right.
Okay.
So I think John Bolton is actually going to be the model for the new Monopoly guy, by the way, now that he's no longer working in the White House. But
he
John,
was the model for the old Monopoly guy.
That was now. Let me ask you. I will get through this story, whether you like it or not. I'm determined. So now, Ms. Monopoly is not just a female equivalent of the Monopoly guy, but they're doing something really, really wrong here, and I've got a big problem with this. Seriously, and this is not a joke. This is 100% true. They are giving the female players that play this board game more money than the male players. So if you're a female player and you play this game, you're going to get $240. And if you're a male player, you're going to get $200. Now, this is board game affirmative action. This, to me, is really wrong. With this, I'm not joking. I'm not joking about any of this. What they are doing here is sending a message to children that no, women can't be on a level playing field with men, and that the only way they can win at Ms. Monopoly or the financial world in general is if you get a helping hand more than a man gets. This is going to worsen and exacerbate tensions between genders, not alleviate it. I have a big problem with this.
I'm not that overwhelmingly mad about it.
No, I am.
Oh, it sounds like an Andrew Yang program or something. He's going to give women an extra $40 for playing the game. Let me just say this.
That's when they pass go.
It's known.
It's $240
every
when you
time
pass,
you pass go
instead of $200.
It's well known in the tobacco family lore that I never lose games. Scrabble, Risk, Monopoly.
Because you're always cheating.
No, I mean you can't.
I was playing bocce with you one time.
Games.
Well, I was playing bocce with you one time in your backyard. I was 1 point away from winning, and you announce all of a sudden, "Oh, you got to win by 2." And I said, "What? We never agreed to that. That was never stated."
There's no agreement. That's
Yeah.
any bocce
Yeah.
game. You got to win by 2.
Right. It was only when I was about to win by 1 that became the
Did you
rule.
win or not?
I don't know. I don't remember. This is 12 years ago, but
If
it
he
stuck
won,
with
he'd
me.
remember.
It taught me a very important
And they always
lesson.
forget the losses and remember the gripes.
That's right.
I win most of the time. I'm just saying. My father was the New York State Monopoly champion.
Is that true?
He used to go after Baltic and Mediterranean.
How do you think he'd do it, Ms. Monopoly?
I don't know. I don't know that he would be good at it because he's been dead for 20 years and there was no Miss Monopoly back then. But I'd like to see who models to be Miss Monopoly because the other guy's an icon.
Yeah.
So whoever gets the role of Miss Monopoly it's got to be an iconic person.
I would agree with you.
Kirsten Davis.
That would be great.
Not bad.
Absolutely.
Does she have to be age appropriate to Mr. Monopoly?
I don't know. I don't work for Hasbro, clearly, because we would not be giving female players more money than men. So it's not just the differential in passing go, but the female players start the game with $1,900 while the male players start with $1,500. Really wrong, Hasbro. Smarten up.
The men get out of jail free card or something?
I don't think so.
We don't get anything. We get the bills, and they get $240
You get a
for
disadvantage.
pass and go.
Congratulations, children. Yet another way men are being discriminated against.
It's all fun and games until the women get a head start on the men, and then it's war. But you're watching Liquid Lunch. It's Woman Wednesday, and they have a head start on us already. They got more right than we have left in the brain and all that science stuff. But we're drinking Sephoria. We're honoring those lost and remembering them on 9/11. Take a quick break, and we'll be back right after.